One more precept for you. Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17.
Ezekiel 3 and 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
So guess what? Those men out of Israel that have been waking up today that know this truth, the Most High has set us to be watchmen. That means you're supposed to be watching what's going on, like the Mashiach told us. Watch. Right. That's a key thing that we are supposed to be doing. But it's something that goes along with that watching. Read.
Therefore, hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me.
Give them warning from the Most High that there is impending judgment. Fire and brimstone is coming.
Right.
Read.
When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
That is a deep precept. You Israelite men, you sign on to this, and they telling you you cannot teach judgment, meaning you can't really break down fully what the scriptures is telling you. You can't really tell your people to turn from sin like that. The Most High is going to require that at your hand, because this is our duty in this earth. You better think about it. Your salvation is hinging upon it. So this thing is very deep. Once again, like the Ox said earlier, we didn't even really want to pull this lesson out like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's been presented to us on too many different levels, to where we had to go into it. Read on.
When I say,
verse 19.
Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
So we have to warn our people that judgment is coming. And you warn them by showing them the laws, statutes, and commandments, and showing them the testimony of the Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. This is our duty, Israel. How dare you sign a covenant, a league with these people that's limiting your power and your duty and obligation to the Most High? Think about it, people. That's all we have. Let's get to the final. Revelations 20 and 12. Because that's one of the key things that they're trying to keep away. They don't want us coming out here and proclaiming this truth, that judgment is coming in this earth. Revelations 20 and 12.
Revelations 20 and 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works.
According to their works, man. So that means all these people will be judged according to how they walk, how their conversation was, how they carried themselves, man. And if we don't go out here and warn Jacob and warn the rest of these nations what's getting ready to come upon their head, you got judgment coming. Read on.
And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Cast into the lake of fire. This is why the adversary don't want this truth coming out, because he wants you in the lake of fire right with him, because it was originally prepared for him and his fallen angels, as the scripture reads.
Right.
Wake up, Israel. How can you say you love Israel and then you got love for mankind and don't go out there and bring forth the truth? Being limited by these people. That's madness, y'all. Let's go to 19.
19. You may not criticize well-known public figures or institutions the IRS deems worthy.
The IRS deems these people worthy. But who do they deem worthy, man?
Barack Obama. All these type of people. Creflos, T.D. Jakes, TD Snakes, all these type of dudes, all your politicians, that's who they deem worthy.
Read on, brother.
Such as super rich elite.
The super rich elite. That's who they deem worthy. You know why? Because they paying all their taxes. You know what I'm saying? IRS is getting big money off of them. So they're worthy. Read.
International bankers.
Oh my goodness. One of the chief devils of the earth.
The Hollywood movie industry.
Oh my goodness. The very instrument used by Hashetan to bewitch the earth. Can't criticize that. That's another thing, us being as Israelites, we know that these different aspects are being used to condition the people. You can't say nothing against it. Drop down to 22, bro.
22. You may not criticize the Pope.
The who?
The Pope.
Oh my goodness. The real king of America.
Or the Vatican.
Or the Vatican.
Or contrast the New Catholic Catechism with the truths found in the Holy Bible.
So you cannot bring forth the truth of this versus what Roman Catholicism, the very whore of Babylon, the whore that rides the beast, you cannot bring forth those things that she's using to make the world commit fornication against the Most High. Touch on that Pope, brother, because I know you got a high vendetta against that system as well as I.
Again, man, these people, now I see why most of these people don't connect when they do the Babylon teachings. They don't connect the Rome and the Vatican, which America is just the arm of this thing. But the Pope is controlling it. Well, that organization, them people is absolutely, they're the ones controlling this thing. It's the head, but the people ain't exposing the head, they going after the arm. That don't make sense. You got to go after the head. You kill the head and the body dies.
Exactly. But this is one reason why they say you cannot criticize the Pope or the Vatican, his throne. That's where he sits and rules. He rules through the Jesuits. He rules through the World Council of Churches. He rules the Protestants, whether you be a Presbyterian, a Pentecostal, or Baptist. He rules all of you because you're all daughters of Babylon. But you can't criticize this guy.
And when he's around, the rest of these so-called powerful people do what?
They bow.
They bow to him.
And kiss the ring. Good grief. Let's get a script on that, though. Let's go to Revelation 13. So let's see who gives that Pope that great authority that he sits on. Let's pick it up. Let's pick it up at verse 2.
Revelations 13 and 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon,
the who?
The dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Oh my goodness. Read.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast.
Now, long story short, we're not going to go into this in great detail because we're going to be bringing forth a nice lesson on Babylon and the Vatican and American connection. But long story short, this is speaking about the Pope, who got his power rather from the dragon, and the Pope institutes power down through America and goes forth and puts forth all the policies that they want in the globe.
Right.
This is why they're telling you cannot speak against him. Once again, the same Romans that took us down, that's who rules this thing. And this is who you're going for power. This is who you're going for benefits. Wake up, Israel. You got something, brother?
We good.
Okay. Read 23.
23. You may not criticize the United Nations
Oh my goodness.
or such globalist groups as the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderbergers, and the Trilateral Commission.
Once again, that's why the first one said don't go against conspiracies. Because once you find out about conspiracies, you go into the Bilderbergs, you go into the Trilateral Commission, so on and so forth. Which all of those institutions are controlled by the Pope. And they are bringing forth the new world order. Read 24, brother.
24. You may not criticize the Masonic Lodge, the Order of the Skull and Bones, or other secret societies.
Oh my gosh.
You may not. Again, if you read this and you signed it, you just flat out wicked. No way around it.
Right. Read Revelations 13 and 7. Now, this is why we calling this thing a beast war. It's 501c3. This is one of the warfare techniques and tactics being used by the adversary. But this was given to him. Read Revelations 13 and 7, bro.
Revelations 13 and 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
With the who?
With the saints.
Who is the saints according to Scripture? Israel. Israel. You are the saints. So it was given, the power that was given to the dragon, down through the Pope system, and so on and so forth, was given to make war against Israel. So this is why they institute legislation such as this 501c3, so you can't bring forth the truth, to kill you spiritually and physically. Read on, brother.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Exactly. So this is why they brought forth the United Nations under the Pope, so on and so forth. They have that power given by the adversary. Read 26 for him, brother.
26. Complain, you may not complain of government wrongdoing or injustice such as happened at Waco, Ruby Ridge, and elsewhere.
So when they come in slaughtering you, long story short, you can't complain about that. Come on, man. Do we really have to read through all this for you to see clear that this thing is completely wicked?
"27. You may not criticize the Jewish ADL, Anti-Defamation League, or other Jewish lobby groups."
So in other words, you can't even really come out here and spread forth the truth of who real Jacob is, according to the ADL. Because the minute you do that, what they do to our brothers on YouTube?
They will cut your page off in a minute.
In a minute.